Hello and welcome to the Federal. Today we have with us Ms. Valli Arunachalam. The viewers of Federal do not need any introduction to Ms. Valli Arunachalam because she's already given an interview to us. You can check the interview about her struggle for succession in the description box given below. To briefly introduce her, she is a nuclear scientist and she is a consultant in semiconductor technology, and much more importantly, we are going to be discussing about it today. She is an advocate for gender rights and education. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for being with us today.
You're very welcome, Kavita, and a warm welcome to all your viewers.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Ma'am, I wanted to start by asking you about your new initiative, Women Up. Can you just briefly tell the viewers what is it about, ma'am?
So, Women Up Tamil Nadu is a baby in terms of an organization for empowering women, but we have very grand visions. So, let me first tell you about why Women Up Tamil Nadu was founded. It was founded on the belief that action is more important than words when it comes to empowering women and girls and solving the myriad problems that they face every day in life. Okay, and on a more strategic point of view, our goals and our vision and mission is to through our actions in Tamil Nadu to empower women and girls, and through our accomplishments to inspire women up movements in all states in India and form a network of women up organizations in every state, which together that network will be able to lift up women and girls throughout India.
Okay. So you basically have an idea to do it across India.
Yes.
And is it because you think uplifting each other is important? That's why is it called Women Up?
Yes. So let me tell you about how I came up with the name Women Up. Okay. So I love hiking and especially in the hills. Right? So one day my husband and I, we were hiking up a hill, and then we stopped at the top to catch our breath, and I looked down and the view was so amazing and empowering and so beautiful, and I thought, you know, this is the kind of feeling that women and girls need to feel every day in their lives, and it was so uplifting. So that's when it struck me, wow, okay, Women Up Tamil Nadu.
Very nice, ma'am. Yeah. Very nice. My next question is about whether, I mean, I know you are very passionate about gender rights. Is it that you draw it from your personal experience, or have you always been passionate about women's rights, ma'am?
So I think it starts at the very beginning with my upbringing. Both my parents were extremely kind and generous people, and they always instilled in us the importance of not just giving materially, but also giving of your time and yourself. That's where it all started, and the greatest gift that I have ever received is the gift of education. Education, it's opened so many doors for me. It has exposed me to so many different people, ways of thinking, broadened my horizons. And so naturally, I feel that since I received that gift, I want to give back in that area. So my philanthropic work started with educating the girl child, because I think that is the key to empowering women. And so in doing that, in educating the girl child, what I found is that the family structure itself changes when they see that, you know, that girls they can contribute meaningfully to society. That's how it all started. But then also from my personal experiences, being a scientist and a technologist, often I found myself to be the only woman in the room. And that itself was very challenging to come up in an environment like that. And more recently, my struggles with getting on the board of my own family company, despite having the qualifications, all of that is what inspired me to give back to society in terms of empowering women and girls.
Okay. Ma'am, how has your boardroom struggle to get into the boardroom, how has it shaped your idea of gender discrimination?
I think it has made me more determined that no women should have to face discrimination as long as she has the qualifications and the credentials. That should be the cornerstones for any position. It should be gender blind.
Ma'am, about Women Up, so there are women from various strata of the society, not just industry or business background like you have been.
Right.
So what is the idea of bringing women from different sections together?
Yes. So in Women Up, we are a cohort of about 20 women right now, and we come from very different backgrounds, right? We have activists, we have social entrepreneurs, we have IIT professors, and we have technologists and financial experts. But the idea of bringing all of them together is because all of them are already doing work to empower women and girls, and then by collaborating, by leveraging each other's strengths, we can make 1 + 1 is greater than 2. And that is the whole idea around bringing a diverse group of women, because problems don't just exist, it's not just financial issues, there are also social issues, there are empowerment issues like in corporate, in the corporate ladder, going from the mid-level to the upper level. That is the most difficult. So to solve that problem, you have to you can't solve it one-dimensionally. You have to look at it from the point of view of bringing in different skills sets. So, and in diversity, there is power.
True. Yeah. So, Women Up will be focused on empowerment and education. Is that the idea?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask...
Well, not just that. So, Women Up Tamil Nadu is organized in we have three focus areas. One is on women leadership and entrepreneurship. The other is social and economic empowerment, and then health and education. So, we basically cover the entire spectrum. But we also have the diversity to deal with all these focus areas.
Okay. So I know as part of Women Up Tamil Nadu, you recently went to Perumbakkam, the Chennai suburb. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah. I mean, the Perumbakkam event was an eye-opener, I think, for all the women of Women Up who were there. We went there to listen. Because I think that it's very important before you do any projects to listen and get the pulse of the people, right? And we did very well. The women leaders in Perumbakkam, they spoke, and they spoke beautifully and eloquently about their struggles, and they spoke with a smile on their faces despite all the problems they undergo, right? And the primary issue was safety for all these women, and the other issue was that they wanted to be financially independent, but they wanted to work from home. Why? Because of the safety of their children. If they left the home and children came back home and they were not there, they were afraid for their children's safety. So, and then the other thing was digital literacy. All of them were very, very enthusiastic about digital literacy. So the takeaway from this was that we need to find avenues to help them to work from home and yet take care of safety, and also empower them in terms of digital literacy.
Okay, so that means you will continue to work with women in Perumbakkam and
yes, and
empowering
all
them
such
is also
marginalized communities. Definitely.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, I'm given to understand that your schedules, I've also seen it, that your schedules are very busy and you divide your time between US and India.
Yes.
So, how do you think you can handle women up activities when you are away from the country?
Well, it's digital technology. You can be anywhere in the world, and then you just have to get on a conference call, pick up the phone, and there's so many ways you can do it by video, audio, and that's how I keep in touch. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world; it's what you do.
Exactly. You also said you have grand plans for setting up women up in all the states of India. Could I say that in almost
Well, I mean, what I feel is like the reason we call it Women Up Tamil Nadu is because as women from the state of Tamil Nadu, we understand the language, the culture, the nuances, and it is only when we are able to fully understand all of that that we can do our best. Right? Now, Women of Tamil Nadu will not be as effective in other states where the culture, the language, everything is, those are barriers, right? So I hope that each Women Up in every state will be independent.
Okay.
And because that only the women in that state will have the power to make the most change in their state.
Okay. Where do you see women up, say from 5 or 10 years from today?
I see Women Up as impacting millions of lives.
Okay. So, by impacting a woman's life, it in turn, you think it impacts the society as a whole?
Definitely. I mean, think of it, right? The household, the manager in the household is the woman. Right? And maybe managers in corporate India, maybe men, right? But it all begins in the household. When you empower women in the household, you empower the children, you know, whether it be the girl child, the male child, and the family as such becomes more financially independent, and educated women can educate the children better. And also education is a means or a safeguard against abuse.
Ma'am, another thing I wanted to ask you, like you mentioned in the beginning of the interview about being the lone woman in a group of technological experts or nuclear scientists. Could you just elaborate, ma'am? Because I thought it was a very important point for the viewers to know. Yeah.
So as a PhD student, we were about a class of 25. I was the only female student, but I will tell you this. Of course, I did my PhD in the US, but I never faced discrimination. All my male counterparts were like brothers to me.
Okay.
And the barriers I faced there, though, were because with the 24 male colleagues, they had absolutely no responsibilities at home, right? They basically lived in the graduate student office, right? Whereas for me, at that time when I was doing my PhD, I was married, I had a child. Okay. So I had to juggle multiple tasks. So that was the challenge that I faced.
And how did you kind of navigate through the challenge?
I think women are inherently great multitaskers, right? For me, it was by planning well. You are forced to plan well in order to address all of the responsibilities that you have, both at home, taking care of issues at work, and then also taking care of other, financial responsibilities, etc., which are shared. So that's kind of how I handle things. Yeah.
Okay, and after you finished your PhD and when you actually became a professional in terms of being a nuclear scientist and a consultant, what were the challenges that you faced?
Yeah, I think it's a double-edged sword. It was actually an advantage in many ways.
Being a lone woman in the
yes, I'll tell you how. Like when you went to conferences, right? when you are the minority, one of the very few women who go up on the stage and speak, you are remembered, right? Whereas all the other men who gave presentations, it's like a sea of men, right? So you get noticed. So that's an advantage. Now, there are some surprises though, like often when I met people for the first time at a conference, they would look at me expecting me to be a man, right? Because I was Dr. Valli Arunachalam.
Yeah.
So when I introduced myself, they expected to see a man. So these are some unconscious biases,
Yeah.
which I think we have to work towards eliminating.
Okay. My last question is, I would like to, quote Audre Lorde, my favorite Black American writer, where she says, "I am not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different from mine." So basically, I thought that is what Women Up is all about, because there are women from different backgrounds, different state of the society. So is this something that you envision for Women Up?
Yes, I think it's very important to have, in my work experience, what I have found is that when you're trying to solve a problem, having like-minded people doesn't solve the problem faster. It is when you have people from different backgrounds that you look at the problem from different angles and you can find the solution faster. So I think my vision for Women Up is to always be diverse, because every problem is multifaceted and it requires looking at it from various angles, and finding the solution will be quicker.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. You're such an inspiring person. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and ideas with us.
I do want to share one thing with your viewers. I'm a nuclear scientist, and the very heart of nuclear power is the chain reaction. Okay, so I would like to share with you a phrase that I have coined. For every positive action that a person can take, there will be a chain reaction that can unleash the latent power of women and girls.
Okay.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.